What's up, sports bettors? I know for a fact I have the greatest football bet for this weekend. It's an NFL player prop, and it may be the greatest bet of all time. So we're going to go through it here in a second. But let's start out by looking at the money line. So our bet is a player prop on Colts Chiefs. You can probably guess who we're betting on from the previous picture. But as you can see, the Kansas City Chiefs are pretty big favorites on the money line. They're best offered at minus 244. And the best price on DraftKings is plus 240 on the Colts. If you're looking for a good spot to bet the Colts, plus 240 on DraftKings isn't a terrible price. It actually looks halfway decent, but I'm not touching the money line in this video. I have a player prop. Now, if you're new to this YouTube, we talk a lot about data, math on OddsJam. And the reason is, really the purpose of OddsJam is to bring sports betting content and tools that were only available, information only available to, the sharp bettors, the pro bettors, people who did this full time, to the everyday bettor, right? Everybody should have access to the same amount of data, the same information, and the same knowledge before they make a sports bet. That's the whole point of OddsJam, right? So the most important concept that every sharp, every pro understands is you need to look at the entire sports betting market as a whole. You need to consider that every book is an independent data point of what the odds or the line should be for a particular bet. So for example, even if you love the Colts this weekend against the Chiefs for whatever reason, you would literally be foolish to bet them at plus 205. Why would you be foolish? Because it's a terrible bet, right? You will always lose money sports betting in the long run if you're getting terrible prices. So if you're placing bets at plus 205 when there are other bookmakers, regardless of if they're in your location or not, giving you plus 240, you're screwed, right? Even if you don't have DraftKings available to you, the fact that DraftKings and other sportsbooks are giving you plus 240 on the Colts means that you should never touch a line that is worse than plus 240 on the Colts, at least at this moment in time. Of course, if Mahomes gets injured or something, all this could change. The sports betting market is just like the stock market. These odds are dynamic. They change based on supply and demand, lineup changes, sharp action, all that sort of stuff, injuries. But regardless, right now, there is no reason to bet on the Colts, really, anywhere except for possibly plus 240 on DraftKings. For example, I look at the Betfair Exchange all the time. And do I have this sportsbook in my location? No, you can't bet on it from the US. But it is very tight, right? There's not a lot of VIG in their market, only 14 cents. Look at this. They only have 14 cents of VIG or juice in their market, 230 to 244. Betfred has 230 to minus 290, 60 cents. So this is a very efficient betting market, right? Very low VIG, very low juice, lots of betting volume as you get closer to game time. So it's a very good source of information for sports bettors to kind of look at. Like, it's very valuable to see the Betfair Exchange and where their lines are because there's so much money being bet on it. Another way you can think about it is there's literally tens of thousands of dollars since we started this video that is traded on the Betfair Exchange at minus 244 on the Chiefs, right? So tens of thousands of dollars has been bet on the Chiefs minus 244. So why on earth would you want to bet the Chiefs minus 290 if there's tens of thousands of dollars being bet on the Chiefs at minus 244? That just tells you you're getting a rip-off price, and getting ripped off is the reason most people can't beat the sports books, right? And that's the truth of sports betting. But anyways, we have player props, so we actually have a bet in the player receptions market. And you can see, again, browsing odds with OddsJam is 100% free. Millions of odds, updating in real time, so you can always get the best line, right? You want to bet on Clyde Edwards-Helaire, right? Over 2.5 receptions. Okay, you should be betting it at the very least on DraftKings. But the thing is there's not a ton of value in that play, so it doesn't seem particularly great. You want to bet on Juju over 4.5. Should be betting it minus 155. So long story short, you always have to be browsing odds and ensuring you're getting the best line. And then ideally, you also start to learn how to look for value, because value is all that matters long term as a sports bettor, right? Looking at this market, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 independent data points of what the odds should be. And if you told me, hey, I'll give you Juju Smith, over 4.5 receptions at minus 110 odds. It's just a no-brainer bet, right? Every other sportsbook is pricing this from minus 155 to minus 166, so there's very clear value, which is exactly what we're looking for as a sharp sports bettor. So, anyways, let's get into the play I have. So the play I have with an 8.8% profit margin is Scantling over 3.5 receptions. I mean, this is a hammer, right? And we're not going to win every positive EV bet. Oh my gosh, we won this? We won this 4-leg parlay. How sick is that? 4-leg parlay, 50 to win 1,300 on some Caesars promo. I didn't even realize. But here we have Scantling over 3.5 receptions plus 120. So these are all bets, I put my own money on, and some days we'll win, some days we'll lose as a positive EV bettor. But again, what is when your bets have positive expected returns. Here it's 8.8%. This bet is worth more than the stock market average in a year. That's the power of sports betting. Is this bet has an 8.8% profit margin. The return of the stock market averages 8% a year. This game's on Sunday, 4 days away. So we're earning a return over the return of the stock market in 4 days. So that's why you can make so much money sports betting, is these returns, once you understand how betting markets work, the math, the logic behind sports betting, how to find an edge, even if there's a 1% return, if you can earn that daily, that's a 365% return each year. Stock market returns 8% a year, and you hear all the time about people getting rich investing and how important it is to, invest your money in an index fund. It's very similar in sports betting. If you can earn an 8.8% return in 4 days, imagine what that turns into. That's how you can make the big bucks sports betting, and why, I got so serious about sports betting initially. So hopefully this video is helpful, but why do we like this bet? And the reason is, just look at the value, and maybe we'll fire off some other plays after. We're getting plus 120 on Caesars. DraftKings is pricing this at minus 115. Pinnacle, the sharpest sportsbook in the world, most efficient betting market. They allow arbitrage betting, tons of stuff like that. They're all the way down at minus 114. So we're getting plus 120, right? So just without even throwing in any math, just from a rational, data-driven perspective, it's as a sports bettor, we're looking for value, edges. Should be pretty clear. When every sportsbook is pricing something at minus 115, minus 114, you can get it plus 120. That's pretty good value, right? So that's the play I ended up hitting out. And you can see as well, it's an arbitrage bet, right? So what is an arbitrage bet? Well, arbitrage bet means you can bet on both the over on one sportsbook, the under on another sportsbook, in this case DraftKings minus 115, and earn a risk-free profit. So this is essentially, we talk about the stock market returns 8% a year with lots of risk. This is a 1% risk-free return in 4 days. So you can imagine over the course of a year, you could earn a 100% risk-free return on capital if you hit 1% ARBs for every NFL week, right? This is just ridiculous. So that's why I love sports betting and why it's so possible to make so much money. So this is a great betting opportunity, plus 120. I recommend watching the videos in the end screen that kind of go through the math behind sports betting. But we have a $250 bet, an 8.8% return. So our bet has $22 in profit margin. Again, I'm tracking my profit and loss for all the plays I've given out on YouTube. Currently up $816. There will be some down days, but we're going to make a lot of money, and that is a fact. That's a fact. So let's refresh and let's see if there's any other bets we like out there. So we'll go ahead, let OddsJam refresh, scan the millions of odds, pull up the newest betting opportunities, all that sort of stuff. You can see there's some bets on these Canadian sportsbooks and Australian sportsbook. Unfortunately, I'm American. That's just how it is sometimes. You get stuck in a country. But we're going to go back here and we'll see what's out there. Patriots over 20.5 points, plus 110 on WinBet. DraftKings minus 110. That seems pretty good. Yankees minus 2 tonight. What we can do is you can just pull all these bets up and take a look at them. Air Force, we got some bets on FanDuel. Oregon State plus 7. I already have a big bet on Oregon State. what we can do is just kind of open up this event page, see what's out there. So we are looking at Yankees -2. Is that a bet we want to be on? So we'll reload the market and just kind of see. So Yankees -2, we're getting +110. Kasumo only giving you +100. Fox bet -105. You know, Pinnacle -102. Looks decent. Not gonna jump on it, but seems like a pretty good bet if you're down to bet some baseball. So that's the bet I have. This Robert Woods one looks pretty good too in the Titans-Raiders game. So maybe we hit that, but I'm going to hold off for now. Maybe in another video, let's make some money.